We're going to talk a little bit of fishing. We're going to talk a little bit of Warrior William Project and whatever else we talk. There's been a lot of stuff going on fishing wise.
You ain't a kid. Holy cow.
Drama central. I was like we talked about it, I guess, last week a little bit, but that BFL link finder page has been absolutely nuts on Facebook. If you guys want to just listen to people with all kinds of opinions on everything fishing,
it's going to get locked down soon, I bet, where you can't just willy-nilly post because it's getting...
Yeah, I mean, there's like Alan Gray and a couple other tournament directors are the moderators of that site, and it's out of control, especially for them to put their name on it.
Right.
Yeah, I think they they had it really tightened up for a while, but then I think they just said, okay, we're just going to let it go just to kind of get everybody's opinions on those topics so they can get like they needed a feel for it. I mean, it's pretty obvious how a lot of people feel about it.
I had to call my brother to ask if I could touch on this subject, but he's the director of marketing and customer service or membership services. So he was the one that sent out all those emails with the live scope questionnaire and receiving all the feedback and gathering it to substantiate with the rest of the company what the findings are.
Don't make any announcement that you're not supposed to.
All I can say is it's super thankless, and they're agonizing over it and giving it a lot of thought with anglers in mind, because without anglers there's no tournament. So I have some data, how skewed it is from co-angler to pro or whatever, but no, I'm just going to speak generically to it. But it is a pretty shit scenario to have to be in charge of from his perspective.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going anywhere. Like dollar wise, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I think they're going to put handcuffs on them, but I don't think it's at the end of the day that handcuffs. We all three know that handcuffs aren't going to matter with it. We've all seen it. We've all played with it. We've all messed with it.
It's going to be interesting. There's going to be some changes. I'm curious to see what we're live, by the way. We're just continuing to talk, and we were having a discussion backstage, and we just kind of continued it. But it's going to be interesting to see what I think the NPFL is in a really good position to make. If one of those organizations would say, okay, this is going to be a no live scope tournament organization, if one of those organizations would do that, I think they would get a big push coming their way. And honestly, it seems like NPFL, if one of the three were going to do it, would be the logical,
they'd be the easiest path of least resistance on that one, I think.
Possibly.
Don't they have a cap on their entries?
120?
120, I thought. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 125.
And they got the 80 that were there, or let's call them the core. It's been there for a while. Most of them have stuck through the trials and tribulations that they faced over the last, handful of years.
Yeah, and they got a championship now. If I had the money and I was looking to fish one of those, that I would definitely. That'd be the one I would pick. It just makes sense.
Especially what was it, this past year or the year before, they only had 80?
Yeah, 80, and then you're fishing against 25 people that made the championship that year, fishing for $100,000. Right. That's pretty dang good odds.
I don't see a whole lot about it though. Like from a media perspective, or I feel like just living my day to day, busy with work and 3 little girls under 10. Like I love fishing, but I don't spend a whole lot of time like searching for results and details. And I feel like the other 2 of those big 3 just kind of come at you generically. So I don't know if I'm missing something, or it just doesn't seem as talked about amongst my circles anyway. So I don't know.
It's funny you say that, Sean. So I have to go search for anything MLF.
Yeah.
But Bass and NPFL are constantly on my news feed. So
different algorithms, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, different people's phones listening to them talk about different things.
I actually do love how personal they are, with like the pre-tournament interviews and stuff. Them are pretty cool. They get into some pretty cool stuff. Big Al does a great job with that.
Yeah, he's a great tournament director. I think it's cool to have some different options out there. Yeah, I was just talking about, or I was just looking at the chatter because I think it was Alan Gray that made that post. Some big changes are coming in 2025 in the BFLs, and of course, everybody has an opinion on what it is, but I couldn't imagine.
Everybody's an expert, right?
Well, I couldn't imagine. There's some people like talking about them getting rid of co-anglers, and I don't see that happening. That's a grassroots organization.
All the FLW, Major League Fishing, they've done such a good job of growing the sport, allowing co-anglers. I bet if you did another poll and saw how many boaters today started out as co-anglers, you would be very surprised to learn how many learn the sport and learn the processes around it. It's one thing to go out and fish. It's another thing to manage your time wisely, manage your fish, handle a breakdown on the water. That adds a whole different level of stress. And without some time being a co-angler, to learn those type of scenarios is impossible. So I can't imagine getting away from that because that's too valuable to the sport.
Yeah, and if you're talking money, that's a pretty decent chunk of money that they would be letting go.
And the one thing, I guess, just maybe more of an acquaintance by association, but Ryan Hopping's always on those boards preaching the idea of joint weights, co-angler and boater, making them work together a little bit, or some kind of kicker for the boater for helping the co-angler.
Yeah, like one bass out west, that kind of, or the not one bass, but the US Open.
Yeah,
seems like a viable option to me, or even the 3 fish limit for co-anglers. I don't know, Gabe, you're more involved with that on the co-angler side. What are your thoughts on potentially a 3 fish limit to at least make it a little more competitive? Because right now it seems like it's feast or famine on the co-anglers. Yeah. You have the haves and have-nots.
I like the 3 fish format and out of the back of the boat. The last 2 derbies at Kentucky Lake, that's what they've had. That's what you've had to fish for. And it's for there, I mean, this time of year, the reason is conservation because the water temperatures are so high and there's less stress on 3 fish than there is on 5 fish.
Is
in
it
the
on
box.
Both boater and co?
Yep.
Okay.
It's 3 and 3. And obviously I feel like I have a better shot at catching 3 than 5. It's hard enough to get 3 out of the back of the boat in the summertime and depending on who you're fishing with. But I do feel I like that. And it does. You're right, Sean. It makes everything really tight. It makes things super, super tight. One fish is huge. Like I had 2 fish on day 1 and 2 fish on day 2 in this super tournament. And I ended up finishing 4th, but I missed. Thank you. But first place was, I think, like 2.5 pounds, 2 pounds, 10 ounces, something like that. I can't remember exactly. It was less than 3 pounds. So that just shows you. Yeah, exactly. But so were other people.
Absolutely. You and I've had that conversation a lot. You're always like.
But if the guy that won, maybe he threw back a couple keepers. I don't know. Then it would have been kind of a blowout. That 5 fish kind of spreads everything out, but that 3 fish kind of makes it tight. So,
and Gabe, even with a 3 fish limit, you were able to show your equal opportunity species and your expertise and variety of species. Because every day, didn't you have a smallmouth and a largemouth to weigh in?
I did. I had one of both. Yeah. That was the plan. I didn't want to discriminate against any species. Yeah,
you got an equal opportunity catcher,
green or brown. It doesn't matter to you.
No, you have to represent the fishery. I wish I would have had a 3rd fish that was a spot. Actually, my boater second day caught a spot. It wasn't big enough to keep.
Really?
Yeah. He said that's the first spot that he's ever caught on Kentucky Lake.
Huh. That's surprising. They used to be pretty prevalent. I didn't know how that was stacking up compared to everything else these days.
Yeah, if I could have weighed in,
caught a spot out of Kentucky.
I have caught a couple small ones. Sauger. Anybody out there wants to get on a good sauger bite, man? Kentucky Lake is full of them.
Really?
Yeah, the sauger bite is strong down on Kentucky Lake. It's crazy. I caught one on a chatterbait. I've caught them on a spinnerbait down there, chatterbait, shaky head, whatever, man. There's
They're
a
all
lot
like-
of big catfish.
That's what me and Jay, our buddy Brad, would ask if there's a third live well in the boat for take-home fish.
They're all like 10 to 15 inches, aren't they?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
called a sandwich
much.
fish. Okay? That's a good sandwich fish right there.
We could have took the day 2 of the tournament. My boater caught probably, and I'm not exaggerating, you'll see the video. It's probably going to be a week or so before I can get out, but I plan on putting all the catfish catches in there. He probably had 7 for 110 pounds.
Really?
Catfish. It was insane. They were all just like
Was he scoping?
between 15 and 22, 23 pounds fish.
Scoping them?
Yeah, catching them on a minnow, dude. It was insane. With a spinning rod, just and you can't pull that minnow away from them fast enough. Once they commit, they come in really hot, and it's like you get the slime off your line.
Oh,
it
yeah.
takes 5 minutes out of your day.
I've have a new respect for catfish. Before forward facing, it was always they sit on the bottom, they're lazy, they just wait for those jokers, like suspend out there, sit over top of the brush pile, and they will absolutely annihilate a bait going by there.
Yeah, I made that comment. I thought, for all you people watching this video, if you think a catfish is just a fish that lays on the bottom and waits for chicken liver to float by, that's not the case. They're just as aggressive as any other fish out there swimming around in any body of water.
And sometimes more aggressive.
They're go-getters.
Because they, like, 2 kicks of that tail, and they'll cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, and they got a mouth like that big, so they can move some water through those gills.
And I'm not as good as some folks on the front looker, but they look like a good one out there too when you see them.
Oh yeah. Some of those ones that I actually got up on the front deck and watched them cast a minnow over a brush pile, and it looked like Grimace from McDonald's from the Happy Meal just coming up. This big old blob. Just
Catfish.
Yeah, big old catfish. It was crazy.
What's next for you, Gabe? Are you fishing that Ozark Division Super Tournament next weekend?
No, I'm not doing that. I've got I'm gonna fish the Big O with Doug Cheatham.
Are you really? Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in with Doug.
So what is the Big O? I've heard you guys.
It's just an open tournament on Wapapello.
Okay.
It's been going on for I don't know how many years, Jay. Forever though, right?
Forever. Yeah. I bet you
Yeah.
it's close to like its 60th anniversary or something. It's been going on forever.
Have you ever fished it?
I fished it a long time ago,
Okay.
but it's been years and years and years. So that's on us.
I talked to Sheets Kenny. He fished the Wapapella circuit this weekend. He said he had one of the funnest times on Wapapella that he's had in a long time. He said 2-3 boats in front of him, and him and Stan threw a pop-art all day long, and they absolutely wrecked them, but did not have any big ones. But he said it was amazing how many fish they actually boated. He said it was absolutely crazy.
That sounds like a fun day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. Everybody else was throwing spinner baits, chatter baits, rattle traps, and they were going right behind him with that pop-art, and just no big ones, nothing over 3, but they still had, a ton of keepers. So he said it was a ball.
That's still fun. Anytime you can catch them all day on top waters.
Yeah.
Especially this time. I mean, it's been miserably hot. Like,
It's crazy. Did you watch that Oaks Outdoor at Table Rock, the weigh-in?
I
did.
did.
There was multiple guys, everybody. Oh, we caught him shallow on a jig, 7.4 or 7.2 on a square bill.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Yeah. Jacob Wade caught that. He had the big fish. It was still pretty tough. I mean, 16 pounds today.
I had a heart attack with a 7-pounder on a little square bill. I don't know if I could deal with that.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Those are always fun.
Yeah, because you're in shallow water. The fish probably, doesn't have anywhere to go but up or around the trolling motor, the power poles, or it got Western, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to week after Labor Day. It seems like everything kind of picks back up, and that first weekend after Labor Day at the Ozarks, I think there's 3 or 4 charity tournaments that weekend and some good ones to get going, and then it's all just full steam ahead from there all the way through late October. So it's getting excited, buying all kinds of necessities I don't need, and just ready to go.
I'm excited for the cooler temperatures It looks like we're going to get a little bit of relief this weekend. But for me, at least around here in the fall, like I can put away half of my equipment.
Yeah. Yep. There's a couple tournaments coming up where I'm taking friends that don't do this often, and they're like, what do I need to bring? I was like, I'm going to have 3 rods on my deck. Just keep it simple, fish fast, cover a lot of water. That's my favorite. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I enjoy the fall fishing down there at Lake of the Ozarks. I'm looking forward to the fishing for Warriors tournament. Mike got on that. Marfell got on that quick for us. He signed us up probably, I don't know, like several months ago, because I had a blast last year. I'd been meaning to go.
One thing, we will have to add some craft beer for you, so I'll make sure that Billy adds that for you.
Just some sort of an IPA. That's all.
IPA. There we go.
Yeah. Just
if you're watching, Billy, we'll make sure to have it and let the bartenders know. We'll even write your name on it, Gabe.
Yeah. I'll make you a really good video and promote the organization, but all I ask for is just a couple IPAs. That's it. That's all I'm asking for.
Like a 4-pack.
That's how that kind of beer comes anyway, is a 4-pack, right?
That's right.
$32 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, no.
For a lot of people on here that don't know what we're talking about, it's actually called the Warrior William Project. It's a really good friend of Sean and I's, Billy Abishon. They actually lost their son to Rhett Syndrome. It's mostly neurologic disease in girls, and they lost their son at 3.5 years old. So the percentage of boys to actually inherit this disease is very, very slim. And unfortunately, little William was one to inherit the disease. So in saying that, this is the 6th year that this charity tournament has been going on out of Red Oak at Lake the Ozarks. It's a $200 entry fee. We actually feed you on Friday night and Saturday night, food and drinks. We have some awesome attendant prizes. 30 years ago, when I used to fish tournaments, we would go to a lot of these championships and just tournaments in general. And before you even left the tournament, you felt like a winner before you even made your first cast, because they used to give away a ton of stuff. So we tried doing that. I know last year we probably gave away 2 book bags full of stuff, just various random items, from Procter & Gamble items to Andy's fish seasoning to a lot of the different tackle manufacturers that are in the Midwest. They really support us. So, we're so appreciative for all those sponsors. This year we have Angler Ridge Remodeling. They're actually what we call a title sponsor. They actually provided shirts for all the entries this year. So everybody will walk away with a t-shirt with the Warrior William logo on it. Just a cool event in general. We do have a raffle this year again. Last year it went over really, really well. A lot of times we have individuals come to us and say, man, I'd really like to participate, but I don't have a partner, or I don't have a boat. So Michael Harlan Fishing, he's one of the top sticks at Lake of the Ozarks. He has donated his time, and you can actually bid to fish with him in this tournament. So, he's a touring pro. So it's awesome that he does that for us. And you can actually go to our Facebook page, the Warrior William Project, and actually see that auction. And it's an amazing opportunity to fish with a pro angler like that in a charity tournament. Also, the Hibdens, they really support us. So Dion and Lawson will both be there speaking as guest speakers. Sean does a great job on emceeing. We have a great team. Shad DeBoer, of course, Billy Abishon, he's the father. Brad Meyer and Charlie Sherville. Cassie, she does a great job with the registration and stuff. So we have a great team. The family helps out. Red Oak actually barbecues for us and cooks hamburgers and hot dogs the first night. And then we either have pork steaks or chicken the second night. So they do a phenomenal job on the food. The facility is just awesome place to have a tournament, and the turnout's just unbelievable. Attendance prizes this year are I'm really excited for them. Back in back last fall, Shad DeBoer and I actually made a trip to Texas, and we fished one of the trophy lakes in Texas. It's called J.B. Thomas. And one of my buddies from fishing bass, he became a guide on O.H. Ivy. And then he found this little lake called J.B. Thomas. And I would say weekly, he is catching a 10-pound plus. So him and another guy down there at the lake, there's Christian's, one of Christian's catches there, 1304 on J.B. Thomas. So he is a live scope expert. So Brandon Burks and Christian Glatterfield have donated guided trips. So that's going to be a silent auction item. We have, pit bosses as a silent auction item. We have a big egg, a big green egg for silent auctions. I mean, there's just some amazing stuff. Midway USA has donated a bunch of rod and reel combos. We have a ton of rods like St. Croix. I mean, Gabe, you've seen how much we had last year. We have just as much, if not more. Crock, Gator, Chomper Baits, Bait Cave, just some amazing Bojangles, everybody, Bait Works, just amazing support. We couldn't do it without them. Everything that we raised, last year we raised over $50,000. Everything goes back to research and development to find a cure for Rhett syndrome. So it's just an amazing little organization. And, I really appreciate just helping out, and it's a good time. It's fun. It's a good event. I feel like it's one of the best charity events out there. I'm probably a little biased, but the work, the effort that goes into it is our following is huge. So, we do cap it off at 100 boats. We're getting pretty close to that cap. So Sean, I'm sorry if I kind of took the stage there, but if you want to take over and talk anything about it, go ahead.
It sounds like Jay's going to be the announcer at the tournament. Give me a reprieve for a year, but I mean, I can't undersell the food enough. I mean, it's, again, Jay mentioned, I agree. I fish a lot of different charity bass fishing tournaments at the Lake of the Ozarks and around the Midwest. And man, it's a lot of work that goes into it. But when we say a meal, I'm talking about just like the kind of meal I would go pay money for to have somewhere else. Delicious food, first class everything, open bar. You never know what we're going to have there, but we'll always have beer. We'll have IPAs for Gabe, wine, and some probably some tin cup whiskey, thanks to our friends the Hibdens. And you forgot to mention Peyton Hibden, which he's the sleeper of the group, but I think most influential, and you probably see some good things from him coming. But yeah, all three of those guys, and the amount of people that bring their spouses, significant others. We do sell tickets for that if you want to have other guests come, and a lot of folks make it a whole weekend ordeal. They bring their significant others, stay at Red Oak or somewhere close, and maybe their wife goes shopping for the day and they come back at night and hang out with us. It's such a good time. I feel like I lost you, but from a giveaway perspective, we have not only lures of all different kinds, but the amount of text messages and everything going back and forth every day with Crock Gator and this awesome young man, Nate Bates, I think he's in South County, St. Louis somewhere, that are working on custom baits, not only, to incorporate purple, the color of Rhett syndrome, but trying to make a bait incorporating purple that's also going to be productive, sharing ideas with our group and our tournament committee to make something that represents our mission and what we're trying to accomplish, but that's also useful. So everybody walks home with some free custom-made baits that are aligned with our mission. That's pretty cool.
He's only 14 years old and started his own bait business.
Yeah. So that's, pretty awesome. So we have, giant bait companies like Chompers and Crocky Gator all the way down to Nate's Baits, helping contribute and make this cause a worthwhile event for everybody. And lastly, I know everyone's excited about the Texas big fishing stuff, but I don't know, Gabe, if you recall when I was on your show last fall, I do Spencer Clark, Captain Spencer Clark from Table Rock Lake, into donating a half-day guide trip. And although I did see Spencer signed up to fish our tournament, I forgot to confirm with him that we're still good to put his half-day guide trip on our auction as well at the event. But there's certainly a reference to that video from the past. So if he tries to deny it, I can go back and say, nope, you said so on November 3rd, 2023. So we got that going too. You can go down to Table Rock with Spencer to catch some fish, some Table Rock guide services that'll be auctioned off. And as Jake pretty much said it all. It's a first class event. We have Anglers in Action that runs our weigh-in. We've come a long way. We started this with what seemed like a laundry basket and a little digital scale on a picnic table under a tent that was blown away every 20 minutes to having Anglers in Action support us and bring their weigh-in trailer and give it the credit that it's due. So it's definitely an elevated event. As Jay said, cap it at 100 boats, and so far, I think as of today, we're up to 83 that are signed up for the event. We're working on extending our regatta permit, because what we're going to do once we get to 100 total entries, we are going to take incremental entries over 100 if you are a platinum sponsor for the event. So if you're a platinum sponsor, if you have a business or a company that you want to get involved with sponsoring or donations, it's a little elevated sponsorship level that comes with a free boat entry into the tournament with that sponsorship level. So although we're going to cap it at 100, if we can get more platinum sponsors, we're willing to exceed that amount, because that'll allow us to make it a premier event for everybody with the extra donations that are coming in. And that's ultimately our goal, is to keep it at 100, or maybe a few more with a few more platinum sponsors signing up. But we try to limit the group, so that we know in advance how much stuff we need for everybody to a T, and we're not scrambling, taking entries at the last minute. And we want to make sure everyone that attends makes it's worth their while. And B, that's repeat A, if you will. We just want to make sure that we're able to accommodate everybody at Red Oak and make it as efficient as possible, because Red Oak themselves is just a tremendous sponsor of the event. That awesome event space they have up top, we don't want to crowd everybody out of there, so we're trying to find the happy medium, and I think we're there with around 100 boats. So if you're just wanting to sign up as just a standalone boat and fish the tournament, you have 17 spots to go before we hit our 100 boat maximum. And then from there, you can reach out to our contact information on Facebook or our website, Warrior William Project, and we will take entries over 100 if you sign up at a platinum sponsor level. So hopefully that helps generate more money for our cause and allows a few more boats to get into the mix.
Sean, when is this great tournament?
October 11th and 12th. So the tournament is actually on the 12th on Saturday, 7 to 3 o'clock. And then the pre-tournament meeting is the Friday night before. So that would be the 11th.
Yeah, we'll have all the raffles set up Friday night. So if you want to come by, have some dinner, pre-tournament meeting. We historically have Dion Hibden speak to the crowd, which is amazing, because
it's great. Yeah,
and it's almost kind of embarrassing, because he'll tell you exactly what he's going to do and where he's going to do it, and that still doesn't mean you can do it. It's like Tiger Woods telling you exactly how to hit a golf ball, and you think you're going to drive it 390 yards in the air. It's like, doesn't matter. He steps up there, he's forthright, tells you exactly what he wants to do, where he's going to do it, how he's going to do it. Last year, I don't know if you guys recall, but it was eye-opening talking about the littlest amount of water coming through the Truman Dam, the littlest amount of water going out of Bagnell Dam, and that lake level raising a matter of inches over the course of a day, one way or another, and how that impacts the fishing. And it was like, I've never thought so hard about anything in my life. So the kind of insight that he gives is just eye-opening. So we'll have dinner, drinks. raffle items out to check out, or you can start making bids or putting raffle tickets in baskets. Dion Hibden talking the night before. Really good time on Friday. Just as fun as after the event on Saturday.
Yeah, and Todd's saying here, his comment is, that's awesome to see these things come from the fishing community, and it is, and that's exactly what it feels like when you go in there. Last year was the first time I participated in it, and I was blown away right off the bat. Right when I walked into the hall there, you had so many people that are all gathering for a great cause. We all love to fish, and we all like a great cause. And the raffles, unbelievable. There was so many things to look at. You buy your tickets. It's the standard raffle style, and you're just like, you don't know. You want everything. You want to put a ticket on everything. It's just every like little pile of things was something that you wanted to take home with you. And like you said, the food, top notch. I mean, I ate. I got sick. I couldn't stop. I just kept eating, and then Dion just knocks it out of the park. Billy nailed it too. Great speakers, very inspirational, very motivating. Very you get a good feeling. You get that little bit of that warm fuzzy feeling when you hear the story about the whole cause, and then you get to go fishing the next day. And it's not you're trying to do good in the tournament, but regardless of the outcome of the tournament, the cause is what it's all about. And that's one of the funnest things about those kind of tournaments. It's not like you're just, it's not quite as competitive. I would say it's an easy feeling. It was a really good time. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and
you feel good after
you feel
spending
good.
A bunch of money for that.
Yeah,
and
exactly. It was just good to see all the people down there. There's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of good conversations, and just a warm environment to be in. And I tell you what, there's a lot of people out there that do annual trips. Like the Big Bass Bash is really popular. There's people that do at least the spring or the fall, maybe both of the Big Bass Bash, or opening day at Montauk. It's a big thing in our area. People buddy up, and it's an annual trip. This is something that can definitely be an annual trip, and it will be for me as long as I can attend it. I plan on attending this every year because that's how much fun I had. Had a really good time. So it's always going to be on the calendar, and you've got some spots left. If you're thinking about getting down there, go down there and check it out. You will not be disappointed. I can promise you that.
The support that we get from the community, just the fishing community alone, Bass and Bob, he promotes the tournament on a regular basis. We do pay a small fee for marketing to him, but every time that he markets it, if it's an email or a Facebook post, we get 2 to 3 entries. So that is absolutely awesome.
If you're ever on the fence about using Bass and Bob for marketing, it's I wake up that morning when there's a Bass and Bob marketing email going out, and our whole tournament committee, there's a text message and a bet on the over under of how many entries we're going to get off of that, and it pays for itself in spades because it hasn't failed us yet. So that's a really good route to go for inside Lake of the Ozarks.
And then like Bob Rankton with the Lake of the Ozarks Outdoor Radio Show, he's been a huge supporter. He's mentioned in tournaments several times. So he's awesome. We couldn't, with all the marketing, speaking of marketing, Winning Edge Fishing, Rob Rixford, we can't thank him enough for a lot of the flyers and stuff that he puts together. I know he does a lot for you too, Gabe. So, he's a great guy to have on our side. We couldn't do it without all the support that we get. And, it is a little stressful. Last year we raised over 50,000, and I think all of us have that little competitive edge on us. And, we want to beat last year. So we all work really hard throughout the year to achieve that. And, the work does show that, everybody puts a big group effort. We couldn't do it without the support that we get. So
so just wanted to mention as well, first place guaranteed $2,500 for first place. We fish out of an awesome Vexus bass boat. This tournament is registered in the Vexus Rev Rewards program. So qualifying Vexus, you could double that instantly. And then on top of that, our friends at Sport World Boat Center, they donate a certificate valid for purchases of excess boats at their facility. There are transferable, so if you're set up correctly, it could actually be a pretty good payout as well for finishing first. Not to mention, I mean, years past, first place comes with that cash and a Yeti cooler for both boater and co-angler and all the prizes that we have to go with it. And then on the big bass side, we make sure to accommodate a woman's big bass as well. Because I fish with my wife. I think she's had second women's biggest bass like 5 years in a row. She's getting real angry, so hopefully she can sort out those emotions and fish catches this year to put that one over the hump. Sorry,
we do have a challenge for you this year, Sean. Shad is wearing a dress.
Okay.
And, we do have a $100 side wager.
We do have. That's one of my favorite parts to see is the family oriented nature of this. Right, we have. I bet there's at least 20 boats where it's husband and wife or couples fishing together, and man, it's cool to see, and the competitiveness amongst women getting involved as well. So we make sure to do a big bass payout for that piece of the puzzle, and just even outside of that, just to see Joey from Crock Gator fishing with Jack Guts, Denise and Dill fishing separate from Jim Dill fishing in a different boat, and a lot of the local guides show up and they help out tremendously with marketing and with donating guide trips. Nick Alt generally fishes with us kind of last minute every year if he's available or not, but
he's donated a guide trip, it says. What Billy said.
Yeah, and Spoonbill. I talked to the guys that won the Spoonbill trip last year. They got to go live scope some giant spoonbill up the Niangua and just had a heck of a time with him doing that. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably have 6 or 7 guide trips that we're going to raffle off in conjunction with all the stuff we give away. And those guys aren't just donating; they're showing up. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're coming to the event. They're donating on top of it, and that's every year, over and over again. And I would like to think we're doing something right when that many people come back. And I have a hard time believing there's many boats or participants that have signed up and attended everything and don't come back the next year. And we follow those statistics, and it's really in our favor. It's fun to see when people just return year over year. It's almost becoming like a family reunion every year. It's a lot of fun.
I will say,
sounds like
I'm sorry, JB.
I was say, it sounds like Shad's going to get his dress in the morning. So,
I will say, in the past, we were really nervous about letting some of the guides, some of the locals in, but historically, September is probably one of the toughest months to fish Lake of the Ozarks, August and September. So it is wide open. Anybody can win this tournament in September, October. So the first week of October, right after the Big Bass Bash, that's a tough time to fish down there. So it's wide open.
That's good. That's good story time. So in regards to anybody can win it, and this, argue all you want, Jay, whether this was before or after guides were allowed or what have you. But like I said, I generally fish with my wife, but we had a 1-month-old baby. I think it was year 3 or 4 of this event. And so I was in scramble mode because all of my fishing friends are already fishing in this tournament. And I had a cousin, great friend, not a bad dude, going to school at Mizzou, who always said he liked to fish. So I called him 2 days before and said, hey, Cassie's not going to be able to fish with me. I need somebody. So he drives down from Mizzou. He shows up with a trout fishing rod and 2-pound test and jumps in my boat for the day. And I was like, Tyler, I thought you liked to fish. What are we doing here? So he sits in the back and listens to Mizzou beat LSU in football that day. And that's all he could think about because he was a Mizzou student. And I went on to win the tournament basically by myself. And after we weigh in, he's like, I got to go back to Columbia. I got to go party with my Mizzou classmates and friends because we just beat LSU. I go, we just beat all these guys in a fishing tournament. You're going to leave? And so he bolts, and I was by myself for all the end of it. So as Jay said, anybody can win it. If I can win it, whether, again, the debate of how big it was, I think we had 60 boats that year, not 100. But the fact remains, even, one of our other past winners, Charlie Shilharvey, he won it one time. So that, if that doesn't tell you anybody can win it, then I don't know what will. And so, yeah, it's definitely wide open. Last year may have been an anomaly. A gentleman named Adam Boley showed up with, what was it, Jay, 22.5 pounds?
By itself.
Yeah, so which maybe wasn't an anomaly because he did that multiple weekends in a row last year. But in general, historically, we've never had a repeat winner. And it's kind of all over the board, but generally 15 plus pounds will get you a check, and 18 pounds will keep you in the running for a victory that time of year.
How did the tournament originally get started?
Yeah, so it was I golf in a golf tournament every year for, it's probably going on 12 years now, and it was a benefit for Rhett Syndrome in play at various golf courses in St. Louis. It was a relative of mine that knew somebody, just a random golf tournament I was invited to and would play, and kind of learned a little bit more about the issues with Rhett Syndrome. And one day I was talking to my buddy Charlie, and on my way home from the golf tournament, told him what I was up to. I was like, oh, leaving this golf tournament for Rhett Syndrome, and told him what I know about it. And he goes, one of my fraternity brothers and friends from college, Billy Aubuchon, he has a son that has Rhett Syndrome, and he was always curious about having a charity fishing tournament. And I was like, I said, first of all, a son, that's odd, because everything I read or learned at these 10 plus years of this golf event was young girls that had issues with this disease. And I was like, well, I'd be interested in talking to him. I was like, this is kind of touching near and dear to my heart with my involvement in this over the years. And I love to fish. We can probably drink beer and talk about it. I like to drink beer. And a couple weeks later, me, Charlie, and Billy got together. Billy laid out his vision for how it wanted to work. And me, Brad Meyer, Charlie Shilharvey, and Billy, our spouses, we all got together and we just said, all right, let's go with it. Billy has some good family friends with the folks that own Red Oak Resort, the Reinhold family, Reinhold Electric from St. Louis. And so he's like, here's the spot. I know these people. And I said, I know these people that can give lures. And we jumped right in. There wasn't a moment of hesitation. So that's all it took, was just someone who knew Rhett Syndrome, who liked to fish, and Billy, whose son William we're honoring with this event, loved to fish. And that's just how it took off. It was just right place, right time. And got some good lifelong friends out of it, even you, Jay. So whether you like it or not.
I think the best story is I never actually got an opportunity to meet William, but one of the coolest stories is this disease actually affects a lot of your motor skills, but your mind is still there, is from the research that I've done on it. And somebody bought him a little truck and a boat from Bass Pro. And every time they would get that out, he would get the biggest smile on his face. So just hearing that story about him with, the love of fishing, and, it put a smile on this little kid's face, that was, just one, heartbreaking, but also very, very enjoyful that he actually got a smile on his face from that little bass boat. So, that's, I think that's a big reason that, Billy, he loves fishing also, but, one of the big reasons that they actually started this tournament. And there is not currently that I know of. There's a lot of studies out there that are close on coming out with a cure, but I don't think there's actually an official cure for Rhett Syndrome. There's a lot of research and development, but, that's everything that we generate. We give back to the foundation of Rhett Syndrome to go to find a research and development for a cure for Rhett Syndrome. So,
man, it's one thing to be born with something, an issue that needs to be addressed. And what I've seen from my years with the Rhett Syndrome Clinic, it's called Golf for Ellie, this golf tournament. They have different families that have gone through what Billy and Justine have gone through come and speak. And on the the female side, when this sets in with a kid, the toughest part is you generally have a perfectly healthy baby that's born. You have a child that learns to eat by themselves. They learn to crawl. They learn to walk. They learn to feed themselves. And then all of a sudden along the way, you'll be sitting there and your daughter will stop remembering how to feed themselves. And then they'll be walking and they'll be falling all the time. And then they'll stop talking. So it's like, it's not until maybe 2.5, 3 years old that you realize that there's something wrong. And there's very few vet clinics in the country. So a lot of these families are driving or flying substantial distances to get treatment or diagnosis or figure out what's going on. But I mean, talk about heartbreaking to think that, you know, here you're living the first couple years of a life with a newborn child progressing and doing fine. And then like their physical peak capabilities are at year 2 of life. And then it starts to diminish. So, man, it's a tough pill to swallow, especially if you have children, to hear some of these people talk about their experiences. And so that's the biggest drive for me after seeing it so often and meeting Billy and Justine, people with such strong connections to me and my wife in life, just with what we like to do and how we behave and treat others. It made it really easy to be close to them. And to see what they went through, there's nothing I and the rest of our tournament committee wouldn't do to help make the lives of others in that same situation a little more palatable. So that's really our goal.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I got a question, and you may or may not be able to answer these, but let's go back like the last 5, 6, 7 years or just 5 years maybe, and see if you guys can remember the winning pattern or the winning baits for those tournaments. I remember last year, I think a glide bait and a buzz bait was involved, if I remember right. But I'm not sure about the years prior to that. What about you, Sean, when you won? What was your
when I won, it was gosh, I'm so embarrassed to say it out loud, but I was just
Nedrig?
nonstop Miller's
Cricket and bobber.
Yeah, a bobber with a monkey milk 1/32 ounce jig. No, but back then I was
the original hanging a minnow.
Yeah, no, I was. I think I had 15 pounds. I only had 4 fish that year, which was the crazy part. 15 pounds won it that year that I did it, and it was just skipping behind docks, just dozens and dozens and dozens of docks. I went to the Miller's Landing Cove, I think it's called Racetrack Hollow. Is that right, Jay? Or Miller's Landing is that?
Yeah.
And I just went in a circle all day, and I think I had 4 of the right bites. I lost the 5th one a couple times, but it was just shady, dock walkway braces, things like that.
You just shady fishing.
Yeah, just high propensity, super shallow. I know our buddy Charlie that won it one year, same kind of deal. I might be speaking out of turn, but I'm pretty sure he caught his 17.5 pounds in like 40 minutes first thing in the morning and couldn't hardly get a bite the rest of the day. He just, right, a high propensity area behind boat docks, right place, right time. And that's what's awesome about the fall. Right place, right time. He just hammered down, and in the first hour of the day, he had the winning limit. And just, I don't know, they probably drank a few Busch Lights the rest of the day. I could be wrong. But yeah, that was that day. Trying to think what some of the other ones were. I don't know, Billy, if you or Brad or Charlie are watching, if you could put some comments in the bottom. But I always feel like the common theme is shallow that time of year. It's always relatively shallow and faster moving, whether it's you're moving fast to cast to high percentage areas or with faster moving baits. I think those are the 2 keys, just covering a lot of water.
Hey, we got a special guest.
Kevin Baxter.
Got a special guest. What's up, big man? Thanks for jumping on. I got the guy who I'm going to be fishing the tournament with lurking back here in the queue. the Midwest Gunslinger, M Squared, to jump on here and chat with us for a little bit. What's up, bro?
Look at that.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on? Where you been? Haven't seen you
Good.
forever.
I know it's been too long. I took a little hiatus, man.
It's been growing that beard.
Did you cut your beard?
I just had I tell the girl that to make me look less homeless when I go to the thing. I don't even try to cut it myself, dude.
It's working. It's working.
I'm looking less homeless. I like
Yeah,
it.
This is great. I've never seen Jay out bearded in these situations.
Oh, the first time Jay was on, he was out bearding everybody. Jay, you grow that in like 3 hours, right?
I do. I actually have to see public now, so I had to shave her down a little bit.
Yeah.
This is like 6-7 months of growth.
I'm the same way, man.
This is a few years of growth here.
JB, that's a 5 o'clock shadow for me.
Yeah. Right.
So way off topic, but the crappy part is my brother, my dad, uncles, all of it. Hours can look like this, and for me, it's months to get it to
Really?
and then when it gets to a certain length, it just gets bad. So
Yeah, I'm a low maintenance. I don't put anything on it hardly ever, so I need to. But
I saw Kevin Baxter on here just a minute ago. He commented, have you guys been seeing that whatnot that he's been doing?
Yeah, well, I've seen a few of those, man. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get some baits for sure.
Yeah, it's basically like a live auction, and they hit the jackbox with like this older gentleman that has a massive collection, and they went up and got a ton of balsal baits and a ton of top waters and just all kinds of stuff. Him and Mike Russell have been hitting it pretty hard on that whatnot, and man, they've been doing a phenomenal job. There's some really interesting lures on that thing.
What days are you doing that, Baxter, if you're still on here?
how does it work, Jay?
Give us a chat.
It's a live auction.
It's on
an
Facebook,
auction.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly at night, like 7 o'clock at night most of the time.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's real cool.
a bunch of degenerate bass fishermen that have a PayPal account. That's all that we need, right?
The bandits are going crazy on there. Wiggle warts, bandits, all that stuff is going absolutely crazy.
Like OG bandits?
OG, yep. A lot of OG baits.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. I see Barry Ledger keeps on commenting, and want to give him a shout out. He's going to be participating in the tournament. His granddaughter actually has Rhett Syndrome. They're up in the Iowa area. So he's got a golf tournament coming up, but really cool dude. I'm looking forward. Last year, I didn't get much time to talk to him, just being busy with the tournament, but hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to him this year.
Well, I'm sure glad you told us about it years ago, Jay, because it's a blast for a good cause.
That Barry's pretty cool guy coming all the way from Iowa to come fish this, and his little crew from up north. They have their own Rhett Syndrome fishing jerseys. So, I mean that's what it's all about, the commonality of fishing, with the trials and tribulations that these families go through. So it's cool to see a whole nother crew come from a whole different state, excited to represent the same cause through bass fishing.
Dill won it 1 year with a buzzbait.
Yep, that is true.
Okay.
Steve Rupp and Mike Malone won it 1 year on a square bill. That's the year that Shad and I got second. We had, I think, just shy of 17. They had right at 18. And we caught everything on a mag trick worm and shallow docks. I even, since that tournament, anytime Shad gets in the boat now, he has his catcher gear on and a full face mask helmet, because I got him pretty good in the stomach with a shaky head, and I think he still has a scar.
Yeah, so I mean those two winning patterns right there and what Jay did. I mean, it's shallow in high propensity areas or shallow moving fast. That's your best shot that time of year. So
just stay away from Jay, apparently.
Yeah.
Without protective gear.
It's easy to stay away from Jay. 1 year we were trying to set up and get get things going a couple nights before, and we couldn't get a hold of him. We didn't know where the heck he was. And I guess at the 78-mile marker, he was service, and he was trying to find gas to make his way back or something. I don't know. So all I know is it's easy to stay away from Jay because he goes up into no man's land.
I mean, I think the toughest thing about that tournament is keeping your excitement in check while you're idling out of that cove.
Yes. Oh, I know.
That's like the longest. It's like probably a 5-minute idle. It seems like.
Oh, and then
back. Yeah, and you're ready to go. It's like they call your boat number 42, idle out, and you're just like.
Yeah, and so if last year was your first, guys, the first year for you guys, we've tried to have your live well checked at the main docks, then idle out, and we take off from the buoys. We've tried last year. We tried check in and take off from the dock in the back of the cove, and I can say that I think the taking off from the back of the cove, it's a little more organized. There was too much back and forth, so that from that perspective, Red Oak isn't ideal from how far back the no idle or the no wake is, but you take what you can get. That's probably
well, it gives you time. It gives you time to, if you want to eat your breakfast, if you want to put your sunscreen on, eye drops in, maybe even tie on a couple baits that just last minute lucky lures at you, patterns that you come up with your head.
I think the worst is the idle back in.
That's true.
If you're going to make it on time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So you got
the beauty of the whole thing is too, is as competitive as I am, it's for a great cause. So who cares?
Oh, yeah.
If you have a bad day, it's like, I don't think me and Gabe have ever had an official bad day where we didn't have a good time. We may not caught fish as well,
right,
but we always have a good time. And it's real easy to do in this tournament for sure.
Charlie says I didn't drink until after the tournament was over. Allegedly.
For the record.
Allegedly.
You guys have never fished. Have you guys ever fished Chickamauga? Anybody?
I don't think I have.
I said that idle out there on a big tournament morning is awful.
USA Bass, and I fished there. That can be kind of sketchy running out of there too. Everybody gets up on plane, one lane.
Yeah,
it's one lane out of there, and it's tight anyway. At one lane, there's like one channel that runs through this. But typically, what you'll get is like one or two guys that it's dark and they don't want to run it, so they idle, and it will be an idle of blue smoke all the way down this 3 or 4 miles.
Yeah,
I mean it is forever and a day long.
Yes.
And now when you run back in, it's balls in the walls all the way back in.
Yeah, see, JB, I don't know about that, but I do know about the idle out of the sailboat harbor at Wren Lake. The sailboat harbor where there's not a sailboat in sight.
Uh-huh.
And the idle out to the best fishing spot on the lake at the bridge point.
Wait,
right
there's
outside
a good fishing spot on Wren?
And that's,
the
anxiety of your boat number versus how many people will have idled out to the bridge right there outside of the sailboat harbor. Come on, Gabe. You know what I'm talking about.
That early boat draw is very important.
Yes. Jay, I see you're on the road. I just noticed.
I am. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky on Eastern time zone tonight.
Doing a little slinging some floors?
Yep, slinging some floors.
Nice.
How long are you out of town?
I'll be back tomorrow night. Got several appointments in Louisville tomorrow morning, then head over to Owensboro, then home.
Shad wants to know what was on the menu tonight for Jay. Mexican?
No, it's like 95 degrees. I don't think the AC is working here, and I'm getting water because I'm sweating.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's brutal. I always set my hotel on Snowflake. That's for sure.
I had that a couple weeks ago. I was at the Ameristar up in y'all's neck of the woods, and my AC was not working. And unfortunately, it was the week that it was really, really nice out. Like we had the lows in the 50s in the evenings.
Yeah.
And I guess I just pumped enough air in that it finally cooled down just below 70. But I'm like you, Mike. Like it's as cold as it can go. That's where we set it at.
Well,
Yeah,
my thought is
same
I paid $96 for that motel.
I'm going to use
room.
every bit of electricity I can.
Exactly.
I like being cold when I sleep anyway.
Me
Sean,
too.
how many boats we had? Or did you guys already talk about that?
We're at 83 as of today.
Okay.
So
we were going 100 or 150. I can't remember what it was said.
We're going to 100. And again, just to remind everybody, once we hit 100, we're going to shut down regular registration. But if you want to come aboard as a platinum sponsor, it's $1,000 to be a platinum sponsor for our event. A lot of social media posts written by Jay. We have different banners, signage, mentions at the event that comes with an entry to the tournament as well. So after we hit 100 of general population entries, we are going to expand it to see how many more platinum sponsors we can get for the event. So trying to help raise a little more money and get some equitable prizes and everybody for participants above and beyond 100. So hopefully we can get a few more and also get a few more dollars raised for the cost.
Hey, Sean, if you could, through Gabe, send me an email with that information, and I'll make sure it gets on the Bluff City Outdoor Radio Show here in St. Louis.
Yeah, excellent. So are you in like North Illinois area, like Alton, north of the metro?
No, I'm in Fenton now.
Fenton now? Okay.
Fenton, right by the old Chrysler plant.
Whenever I saw your posts or your details, I always think of Bluff City Bait and Tackle. Tackle.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's where the shop's at. But we do the radio show out of St. Louis.
So you have a little something to do with that?
Yeah, I'm on it. So is Gabe does the fishing. I do the fishing report every week, and I'm officially now I'm the co-host every other week because I'll be going in and doing the Colombo and Company political show on the FM Talk on Thursdays.
That sounds
fun. Co-host on that, and then we record it on Thursday, airs on Saturday and Sunday.
Very cool. Yeah, I grew up. Myself and one of our other tournament members, Brad Meyer, we both grew up in Belleville, Illinois, and man, if you needed baits from Belleville with all the different clubs and stuff we fish, we'd always be begging our parents to take trips to Alton and go to Bluff City Tackle. So I remember that pretty fondly.
Mark McMurray is the owner now. It used to be Rodney's before that, and I used to shop even way back then. But I think Mark told me he's owned it for 23 years now, and they added. Have you been there since they've added the archery shop to it?
No, I haven't been there.
It's pretty cool. It's growing a lot, and now Mark retired from Boeing, so he's full time at the tackle store now. It's really pushing to make it even better.
The advent of Midway USA getting into fishing gear has really stopped my visits anywhere. So it's unfortunate for brick and mortar, but Midway's been a pretty helpful support for us. Yeah, so that's Brad. Brad just made that comment. He was one that did the spoonbill fishing with Nick Alt last year, and he's probably eating some of it tonight. I don't think he needs to kill any deer this year with how big those spoonbill were. His freezer's pretty chock full.
Yeah, Mark's he's got several catfish guides working out of Bluff City now too. And the Alton Catfish Classic is what, next week or September 7th, I think.
2 weeks out.
Yeah, I remember going to Rodney's with my the hot map, the foldable floating map, and those guys up there. The hot spots, the hot spots map, and they put little marks on your map and directions. Okay, you'll pull down this bank at Egypt, and you'll see a pirate's flag. It's the red one, not the black one. Then go 100 yards, and you'll see a boat. That kind of anecdotal sense. But that was, priceless in my youth. So that was a good core memory there from Rodney's and Bluff City.
Bluff City, Marcus
confidence.
Yeah, Mark's working hard on trying to get somebody to get some decent ramps around there so they can start having tournaments out of both catfish and bass tournaments out of the Alton pool there.
The Piasaw Creek area and all that. I used to do that pretty often in my younger years. There was some good fishing to be had.
There still is. If you can't get a boat, you have to put in at Piasaw Creek because you can't get into it anymore because it's all around the island so silted you can't get in there. But I think 2 falls ago I dropped my boat in there and just went trolling motor only, and I probably had 18 pounds up that creek, all off of one laydown.
Wow.
Wasn't there a Bassmaster Classic on the Alton Pool?
Yep, out of Pure Marquette. It wasn't the Classic, but it was a Bassmaster Invitational.
Invitational, that's what it
My
was.
mom was responsible for getting that. She was working for the Alton Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Getting Barry Beisel or Bacon Beisel win it. Bacon Beisel.
Basil Bacon.
Bacon. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
it got real crappy right before they got there, and that's why they never came back. They didn't catch them real good. But it used to be on fire, man. It really was. Bass World used to run one out of there too. But
that Salt River, I mean, I know that's quite a few pulls up, but man, that Salt River below Mark Twain can be phenomenal.
Yeah. And the Alton Pool used to too, but it's still, it just changes so much with the floods, it's just hard to get around, hard to navigate if you don't stay up with it.
I hate that darn river. That's the only place I've ever wrecked a boat.
It's hard on boats.
It wasn't pretty. 19-foot Triton. I totaled it. Had $8,900 worth of damage to it.
What happened? Stump or sandbar? Or?
No, I hit a railroad tie that was submerged in the mouth of Joachim Creek. We were fishing super bass out of New Athens, Illinois, and I had been smoking them in Joachim. Of course, Joachim's 2 minutes from my house, so I ran all the way up there. Yeah, hit a railroad tie going in. Then ended up fishing, had a great bag, come all the way back out, locked back through the Caskey River, ran all the way up to Evansville and blew the lower unit at Evansville.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
See all that. Paul Meese just made a really good comment. He likes big tournaments on tough fisheries, and I couldn't agree more. And for me, that's why fishing at Lake of the Ozarks in September and early October is my absolute favorite, because everyone's like, it's so tough, and everyone hasn't fished Wren Lake, Carlisle Lake, New Athens, Kaskaskia River out of Smitty's there on Thursday nights. They haven't been to Crab Orchard or Egypt or Kincaid in a revolving line of boats. Like, that's hard fishing. Like, that's hard for the seasonality and the amount of pressure. So when you get to Ozarks that time of year, man, it's kind of like a blessing. What people think is crowded and pressured at the Ozarks compared to where I grew up fishing is nothing. So when I'm used to fishing Wren Lake, just hoping to get 5 bites, it's like the Ozarks, at least I'm catching 12 inchers in the meantime between maybe a couple decent fish. So you learn in Gabe's backyard, you learn your whole life on how to just fish hard and expect very little in return. So that's why I think I tend to do a little better this time of year than the rest.
Yeah, one mess up around here, and that's your day. That's your tournament day is gone.
Yeah.
This pertains more to a 2-day tournament, but the biggest advice I can give people is to make sure you charge your battery for the second day.
It's always important.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Jay. That's a solid idea.
Yeah, pro tip, man. Pro tip.
That's a very pro tip.
All right, hold on. Who here has had that problem? Raise your hand when you've had that problem.
I'm the only one, I guess.
I'm the guy that walks out to my boat 3 times a night to make sure it's charging, even though I know it's plugged in.
Me too.
No, that was a blessing, Jay. That was just my dedicated lithium live scope battery. So I just had to turn it off for the day, and I still moved up a couple spots. So I'm not worried about that, and I won't let it happen at the end of September this year at the Ozarks for a multiple day tournament. I'll sleep in my boat and make sure it charges appropriately.
Well, it's not even that, like, forgetting to charge it. It's what if somebody walks by and kicks your plug out, or
there's a storm that comes through and the power goes out.
Or they overload the breaker and everything just shuts down.
Yeah, those little hotels like at Stockton and places like that, you really got to worry about that. That's why I got in the habit of walking out and checking every so long,
Unfortunately, my mistake was in my boat slip on the dock that I can see 20 yards from my place at the lake, and it was just a complete mess. But live and learn. So we'll correct that this September for multi-day tournaments. I'll be okay.
It applies to one-day tournaments too, Jay. You should probably have your batteries charged.
Oh yeah.
Well, it just gives you a couple big lithiums, and you don't have to worry about it. So
Still don't work.
Yeah,
You running lithiums now, Jay?
I am. I'm running Pro Guides.
Okay.
I've had pretty good luck with them. You know, we have our camper over at Kincaid full time. So it's a little bit hard to charge them over there. And I can get Friday, Saturday, Sunday fishing full, full trolling motor, live wells, so forth. I can get a full 3 days out of them. So pretty impressed by that.
And you got it on everything?
I do.
Frank, troll, everything.
Yep.
That's when I get the new boat. That's what I'm going with. It's kind of hard with the nitro to pass up their house brand for the price that when you find the boat. So,
have you had any luck on yours? Anybody?
I haven't. I have not. I'm probably going to drop the price. Or probably going to.
I need to share it because I'm involved with the high school fishing. I just had a parent looking for a boat last night. He actually he texted me today, said he's buying a Z17, but there's always people looking for him on our team and stuff. But
yeah, that's what the guy told me. He's like, my boat is a perfect candidate for somebody that's got a kid in high school that's got wants a loaded boat but can't afford a brand new one. I mean, mine's ridiculously. I'm not getting near the stuff of what I got on it now that on the new one. So, but I am going. Nitro went to all Garmin now too on their pro package, so that's going to be nice. Be able to go 4 Garmins without mixing and matching.
Yeah. Hey Jay, you mentioned the high school fishing thing. How's that been going?
So Mitch Evans, he's the one that started the program. He actually started it 4 years ago. 2 years ago, I got involved, and now Mitch's son has graduated this past year. I was actually a boat captain for Cody. Cody's going into the Marine Corps, but throughout Missouri, it has exploded. I think there is 9 different circuits right now that the youth can fish, and the scholarships available are unbelievable. Last year, Festus ended up with 42 kids. We are actually just a club, so we're not affiliated with the school. And in saying that, we don't infringe on any MSHA violations or anything like that. So being a club, we can actually pursue sponsorships. So we raised quite a bit of money last year. We gave everything back to the program. We had 42 kids that participated, and we had a phenomenal year. The junior high team, they actually won 2 different events. They won Pomme de Terre, the championship, and then also one of them won at Table Rock. So the junior high team did really awesome. The high school kids, we had multiple top 10s. We got a really tough team. So really looking forward to this year. We had our first meeting 2 weeks ago. We had over 60 kids there. So we're kind of busting at the seams. But our biggest hurdle right now is boat captains. So right now I'm 6 boat captains short. So, that's we've always been blessed to have plenty of boat captains. And this year, we're finally getting to that stage where we're getting a little bit too big. So we talked back and forth about putting a cap on it, but we haven't done that yet. But I think we're going to have to, just because of, the lack of boat captains. And, you don't realize what you have. Some of these parents, I hate to say it like this, but, somebody that invests their time and volunteers like that, I mean, it's a big, huge cost to them, and it's a big commitment. So we really budgeted the program around the National Youth Fishing Association, which JP Sells does a phenomenal job. He's out of Springfield.
You got that right.
Yeah, he does a phenomenal job. And just budget wise, myself, I fish a lot of tournaments still, so being able to do what I want to do and help the kids also, plus, my involvement with the Warrior William Project. And, it all takes a lot of time. And the reason I did it is because my grandkids are getting to that age. So, I'm really looking forward. My youngest one, Braxton, he's got to be a little stud. And, he's 8 years old. He's already throwing a bait caster better than most men. So we've been doing a couple of little Goose Creek tournaments, which, there's only 9 to 10 boats in those, but we actually won one of them this year. And you think that he won the Bassmaster Classic. But yeah, super cool to see him that involved. And then my oldest one, Jaden, he does a little bit of baseball. He's in a select baseball team, but he loves fishing too. So, I tried doing a lot with them. So looking forward to hopefully getting them into the program. But overall, man, the support that we get, just from, it's so tough. I mean, you guys know how it is. All these tackle companies are just saturated from everybody and their brother hitting them up on charity tournaments and, the pro staff and so forth. Everybody wants something for nothing. And, I hate, with as much as I'm involved with, I hate going to a lot of these people and asking for things. But, I feel like a lot of stuff I do is for a really good cause. So it's very rewarding for me personally. But, man, you talking about a great program. Last year, we actually earned $18,500 in scholarships for our kids alone, just for the Festus team. And we are a club, so I keep on saying Festus, but that's where it was originated at. And we actually have 9 different school districts in our club. So it's really, really cool. I mean, the championship for the high school division, National Youth Fishing gave out a $120,000 scholarship to Drury University to the winners. So just huge. Phenomenal. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now there was a circuit over in Illinois called ICAST, Illinois Coaches and Student Association. They have a pretty good following in Illinois. They actually are just starting their initial season in Missouri and then Wisconsin. So he's going to have a championship for each state, and then he's going to have a championship for all 3 states. So, that's pretty cool. You get a little bit outside of your region, but of course, Bassmasters, they have their league through MoBass. TBF has their league through the TBF, through Major League Fishing. And then Bassmaster has a high school division. Major League Fishing has a high school division. They come to Missouri once a year. And then also, they go to pretty much every major lake for the high school division. So there's a lot of different circuits. The guys that run the National Crappie League, they started a youth circuit also for bass fishing. So they're going to have a circuit this year. So there's so much opportunity and so much scholarship opportunities. And, us being fishermen, we know this, but every major college has a great fishing program. Drury, Bethel, all of them. McKendree is one of the biggest ones, so, they all have great programs, and a lot of these students are getting full rides to go fish. So it's
the kid I coached in high school, he was a homeschooled student, and his dad reached out to me, and we went to the national championship 2 years, placed in the top 10 the second year, and he got a full scholarship to a private Christian school there in Springfield. They're letting him use a Ranger boat for all 4 years. Nice.
Is that Rowan?
Yeah.
Rowan? Yeah, cool. Yeah, good.
Yeah, he's a good kid, man. The other kid was as good of a fisherman, but he went to work with his dad as a carpenter. So he's not doing the college fishing.
Right when I was in high school, that's when the high school college fishing started taking off, and I actually got a full ride scholarship to the University of Alabama for fishing, but then my cat got sick, and I figured I'd better just stay home and take care of the cat. So I had to turn it down. I never got to see that dream to fruition, but my cat got better, and everything turned out okay. So we're good on that front.
Hey, you
got a fur ball? Was it a fur ball? What was go here?
No, I'm kidding. That's just me being spiteful because, man, how cool would it have been growing up to say I'm dedicating my life to fishing, and there's rewards outside of dive bars and Galconda on the Ohio River with people twice my age, that totally escaped me. That would have been awesome.
Definitely wasn't cool in my day in the early 80s to be bass fishing.
I had a couple girls break up with me because it'd be like midnight at a party, and I'd be like, I gotta go meet Mike. We gotta go to Egypt. We have a fishing tournament. And they'd say, why are you leaving to fish? And so, it was not cool whatsoever.
No.
To be fishing.
Yeah, one of my big draws in high school was, as far as finding a girlfriend, was if she had a farm pond or not. I dated a girl for quite a while. She had a really good farm pond. So
it's smart. I never had that intuition. Never.
Yeah. You got to shop around, man. You got to shop around. Priorities, baby. Are you still doing that? The last couple of years, you've had that high school like get together camp seminar type of thing that's going on at the end of the year. Is that still?
I have myself involved in so many different things, but the American Bass Fishing Alliance is still going on. But I had to draw a line somewhere. I do want to stay married.
Yeah.
So
Jay, was that the one that went on at Vianney last year? Or?
Yep. They're having it again the first week of December.
Yeah, we're going. Bluff City Tackle's going there with the booth.
Cool.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah.
Yep. Pat Bowen, Matt, Rob Rixford, and his name just slipped my mind. Can't think of this right now. But yeah, they're still having it. They have some awesome guest speakers this year. I know the lineup already. I don't think they're announced yet, so I won't say anything. But if you are a student angler, you definitely want to attend this with some of the speakers that they have. So it's going to be an awesome opportunity. Yeah,
I'm hoping to kind of be able to hear from the booth, or maybe sneak away for a couple of those for sure.
Yeah, Drew.
Rod McGrew. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't think of it for a second.
When I was doing the high school thing, the one tournaments I didn't like was the ones where the coach got a fish too, because that's just ridiculous. I didn't really.
Hey, that's the only reason I do it. No, that is. I actually like it. I know there's opinions on everything, but that Saturday, for me, as much as I love to fish, it is extremely hard for me to sit in that boat on Sunday and watch them fish. So on Saturday, it gives me something to look forward to. It's called the PTA, and the boat captain actually gets fish with the two anglers. So it's pretty neat. It goes off a point system, and those tournaments are actually for money. So me and Cody actually finished sixth place this year. And at Table Rock, so we had a really good tournament at Table Rock, and I think we won like $800. So it was pretty cool.
That's wife material there, Phil.
That's
next.
Well, then you always had a Sunday tournament that was just the kids.
Yep. So it always followed. Yep. So
different organization, but it always.
Yep. No, same organization. The National Youth Fishing Association has what they call the PTA. And then on Sunday, they have the National Youth Fishing, which is just the kids only on Sunday.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so if you're ever on the lake and you see two kids fishing and a dad or a mom sitting in the driver's seat just staring at their cell phone, that's what's going on.
Yeah, that championship at Hartwell was a long 3 days of just driving the boat from point A to point B.
I tell you what works amazing is a crappie rod. You drag it behind, catch a couple crappie behind them.
I fished with the guy Sunday in that tournament who was a college student at Murray. I'm assuming that he was there on a fishing scholarship, but he talked about, I always ask guys if they mind if I shoot video during the tournament, and most guys have no problem with it. And I tell them if there's any areas of the lake or anything you want me to edit out, just let me know, and that's not a problem at all. I can work around that. And so the guy on day one, he had a bar out there in between some islands that he didn't want me to show as like our starting spot, so I didn't show that. But then on day two, I fished with Levi Cole. He's like I said, he's going to Murray, and he had a couple places he didn't want me to show. And it was interesting. I thought about this, but I hadn't really took a deep dive into it mentally. But I did a video with Jake Lawrence last year, and Jake's been on the stream a couple times. He's fishing the BPT. He won the super tournament in Kentucky Lake this weekend. He's a stick. He's a hammer. He's a stud, and he's all around good dude too. But that video that I released, Levi said the whole Murray State fishing team studied everything about that video. They actually, if there was a little snippet in passing where it showed Jake's graph, they zoomed in on to see if they could catch a waypoint, and they had, everything marked in their head, and they went back and they cross-referenced it and they figured out. Levi even said, "Yeah, I knew all the places that Jake was fishing because I studied the video." Well, you know, we were fishing community stuff, which Jake's good enough that he's got places he'll fish when people are watching and people are shooting video, and then he's got places where nobody's going to be around, and you know, he's got that many places to fish. He's a smart fisherman. But when I was in the boat with Levi, he told me, you know, there's a couple spots that I don't want you to show because I'm out here every day as a college fisherman. I'm spending. I can't remember what he said. I think he bought his boat in February, and it had 170 hours on it, and he had 486 hours on it as of today.
Wow.
That's how much idle time that he's put on. So his point was for me to put in that many hours and just to give those spots away makes no sense for me. So there were some kind of sneaky little spots that he didn't want me to show. And I'm like, how can you tell? How can you tell?
Hold on. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Like, coming from the guy that pirated off of a video and like studied somebody else's crap, and that guy spent thousands of hours trying to find that, where he's like, but I don't want you showing my stuff.
Hey,
right?
kind of, the old adage, it takes one to know one, right?
Right.
You know,
right.
So, but I understand where he's coming from. You put all that time in it, and we're sitting out there on a bar, and all you're seeing is trees. And I'm like, so you're telling me that if I put this little section in the video, that people will be able to tell where we're at? And he said, yeah, there's only 3 sandy stretches all the way up and down between this section of the lake, and we're in front of one of them. So the amount of detail that those guys are paying attention to kind of blew me away. Because most of the time, if you're just looking at a general bank, as long as there's not a certain dock, or there's not some sort of thing you can triangulate with, some sort of reference point, it's really hard to tell. Even around here in Southern Illinois, it's hard to tell where you're at in a lot of the video. But there's guys that are actually studying that stuff. So
if you spend enough time out there unsuccessfully, at least you know where you're at and what you're looking at. Like it's probably not that challenging. So that begs a good point, because I mean, fishing say a Toyota series at Lake of the Ozarks at the end of September, like I haven't fished a ton of tournaments this year, but every time my wife and I, my family, we go out in our tri-tune, or anytime I go fishing, I have a brush pile and I put it on a dock that I have like a high propensity to catch fish. Like I feel like an idiot because we're all in our swimsuits. I have 3 little girls, my wife, on a 25-foot tri-tune, and I'm having her drive a boat nosing into a dock to throw a brush pile off the front of it in the middle of July. And it's like, especially the Ozarks, where you have all the addresses of the homes on the boat docks. Like, man, that's a lot of work. And if I never thought of a co-angler videoing the day's events to say, like, this is my day. Like, I wouldn't want to share that.
Yeah. Well, I guess kind of what I was getting at is back to the high school thing is putting in that time, especially when you move up to the college level, and those guys that are really serious about, furthering their career in the fishing scene, the amount of time that they put in is, can be underestimated. So I understood where he was coming from on that.
Kind of in that same factor, I used to get so mad at Bass and Bob because his information was legit. We were the average fisherman, not fishing every day like a lot of the locals down there at Lake of the Ozarks. And Kenny and I were going down there. We were competitive, but, we were fishing these tournaments on the weekend. We might fish a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but he would produce the fishing report and we would be so freaking legit. Like, Bob, why are you telling people that? The average fisherman, I mean, we work our butt off and we have a lot of money invested. And, he just spilled all the beans, and it was legit information that, the average fisherman can go down there and flip a shaky head on a shallow, flat dock and catch them, and then, 10, 15 years ago, nobody was doing that. Now you pull into a pocket in the fall and everybody and their brothers back there. But
yeah.
Yeah, there's no secret.
Value out of Bass, knock a man for making a living, Jay. He's
No.
doing a good job.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's legit information. So if
You know how many of his hot dogs I've eaten, Jay?
yeah,
he's
got to be able to afford to hand out hot dogs, bro.
and donuts and coffee too.
yeah. If you want legit information, become a Bass and Bob member because it's legit.
I think most of the guys down there too. Jim Dill, his fishing reports, he's not lying.
No.
Well, I wouldn't say he's lying, but I mean, he has 30 rods on it. You can catch him doing this. You can catch him doing that.
True.
Whatever you want to fish, you can catch him doing this. So yeah, it's a little vague.
Yeah, he's not giving out waypoints for sure.
No. But no, they're on Bass and Bob. There's a refreshing wave of new guides on the lake that are putting up daily reports of how they're doing. It's pretty substantial information. So I look at it every day. I go to ESPN. I maybe go to a political website. News affiliate, whatever. Not saying which one, but yeah, Bass and Bob's part of the rotation. You go, Justin Lukenhouse. Every day there's some good young guides on the lake who aren't afraid to share information. So there's a lot of it's seemingly refreshed on Bass and Bob with a lot of good detail every day. It's fun to look at.
Jay, have you seen a black bear at Kincaid? I saw
yeah, I've been seeing all the posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they had let some of them go in that area.
Oh, there was also a big old rattlesnake swimming across the lake this weekend. Did you see
really?
that? Yeah,
No.
I think it was like 4 foot. I was huge.
Wow.
I have seen a rattlesnake down there. I've seen 2 of them mating one fall. Or it was.
It's good territory for it with all the rock.
Yeah, it was like late summer.
You
They were all curled up together.
You think there's a possibility there could be Sasquatch in Southern Illinois as well?
Oh, I guarantee you there is, man. That's some remote area over there.
Yeah.
There's only like 500,000 acres
Shawnee
of
National Forest.
Shawnee National Forest over there.
Yeah. I think I've told this story on here, but I was over fishing Little Grassy one time, and you have to drive through the campground area to pay at the office there. And there was actually like a Sasquatch. There was actually the Bigfoot research team had set up shop there in the campground. They had a wrap truck.
Really?
Yeah, true story. And like a pop-up camper, and they were in the area doing their research.
Trying to bait one in.
I don't know, man. Yeah, there was whole chickens hanging up on the tree. It was insane, dude.
I think you got to use booze. I think that's what they're looking for.
About a week later, Gabe, after, that was like 2 weekends ago, they seen that black bear.
Yeah.
He was all around Murfreesboro. I seen him report this week that he was in Godfrey. I wonder if it was the same one.
It might have been.
A friend of mine had sent me a picture that lives in Godfrey.
Yeah.
So just, Gabe, talking about that area down there, you'll have to I will remember during our tournament, but there's a guy named Adam Fouch, and he born and raised in Eddyville, Kentucky, but now lives like right down the street from Pyramid Acres at Lake of Egypt.
Yeah.
And he's a regional sales manager for Purcell Tire, who's one of our biggest sponsors. But he is just a diehard fisherman, has just a beautiful Phoenix boat, and fishes Egypt, and will go trolling motor only on Little Grassy and Devil's Kitchen all the time. Spends lots of time at Kentucky Lake. But yeah, he's based in your area. Just a super knowledgeable fisherman that, again, one of our biggest sponsors that we have for Warrior William and have been since day one. Charlie Schneider is his boss at Purcell Tire, which all over the Midwest, if you guys are familiar with them, boat trailers, truck tires, van, whatever. Awesome sponsor, but it feels like their whole entity over there at Purcell Tire are avid fishermen, but this guy, Adam in particular, and he's right in your backyard. He'll be there at Lake of the Ozarks for Warrior William, and probably a good guy to know in your area, because that's all.
I thought you were going to tell me he had a Sasquatch sighting. I thought you were leading up to like he was.
He looks like that, which is what reminded me of that. He's kind of hairy and big, and yeah, but otherwise, no. It's just a good connection that we need to make, and just again the kind of thing. Not to revert back, the kind of thing you always see at Warrior William. There's such a a depth of people from all over the Midwest at that event. It's hard not to stumble into somebody with some commonalities, but that's a really good one with all the folks at Purcell Tire for you to meet for sure.
Yeah, they have a Purcell tire right up the road from us that is super handy. I actually got a set of tires put on recently.
Yeah, we need to get a Purcell Tire Warrior William discount code. Probably be more valuable than anything because everyone needs boat trailer tires.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great idea, Sean.
Yeah.
We did have a platinum sponsor today sign up, Jones & Son Construction, Kevin Jones. He's been fishing some of the Anglers in Actions with me. So, Kevin, thanks for that if you're listening. Kind of unexpected to see that roll in today. So, pretty exciting stuff.
Nice. What's on the menu this year? Do you know yet?
I don't think it's been decided, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. Isn't that the same?
Agree.
Yeah. So,
Making me hungry.
It's been the last several years. It's been phenomenal. The food's been really, really good.
Yeah.
Beer is generally cold.
The beer is.
And don't worry, Dave. Again, I saw Billy's comment earlier. The IPA will be cold as well. Or do you drink that warm? Is that like a European thing?
No, this is not. This ain't the UK, man. I like it cold.
So cold IPA, Billy. If you could make a note of that, that would be.
I know.
Yeah, we cut Joey off a little early this year, I think, too. Her 90 pounds doesn't last very long drinking.
It's funny.
That IPA must just make your beard grow right here in the middle, and that's it. You can't get the sideburns.
I got a little bit of. I'm about to shave these suckers off. They start tickling your ears. I had my sun hoodie on in that tournament, and I kept thinking, man, there's like a gnat or something flying in my ear. No, it was just this long enough to curl around and just kind of tickle inside of my ear. That's when you know you're supposed to cut it down. Those little God gives you little subtle hints in life, and that's one of them. You start getting your ears get tickled by your sideburns. It's time to cut them down. It's the small things.
When I did have mine about like Mike's, I used to hide buzz baits in it and shake your head.
Nice, dude. That's nice.
Well,
you got something that's working. You need some spares.
You've tied some hair jigs off of yours before.
Yeah,
I got desperate and tied one up.
Well, my buddy Dave he used to own a place down at Montauk. We had a fly called a Dave's hair fly that he would tie off of some of his beard hairs, and we actually caught some fish on it. It was a pretty decent fly. It looked like a little caddis.
So, guys, not to make this awkward, I mean, we saw a lot of you, everyone on the screen at Warrior William. Last year, everyone had a great time. JB, where are you at, man?
Yeah, you need to get in.
Put the pressure on.
Get in.
17 spots left. I
gotta find a boat.
Yeah,
I got one for sale.
He's got one for sale, and Michael Harlan has an open seat in his. So, you could probably, get some.
That'd be the best way to break into the tournament.
Right.
Just go all in and fish with
I was looking at the bid. I mean, that's right now it's cheaper than a platinum sponsorship. So
yeah.
JB,
what I would do right now is don't even ask your wife, just buy Mike's boat. And just ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's solid. Yeah.
Tell her it's an investment.
Follow me for more marriage advice later.
I'm not even going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole right now.
My marriage advice is to bring your wife with you and let her fish with you, and then you're fine. That's what I do.
Hey, Chad's gonna get kicked out of the boat. Watch it.
You could fish in the cove, man. You just fish out of your John boat.
You probably do just fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, KB, I'm on a mission. We'll find you somebody to fish with if you can make that weekend available. Because I almost feel bad that you're missing out because we're all going to have so much fun that weekend.
I will. If you guys find me somebody, I will do my damnedest to make it down there.
All right. Challenge accepted, Jay. You hear
Rob
that?
Rixford might need a partner.
I was going to say, I don't know if Bruno and Greg are going, but Greg might need one too.
Yeah. You'd probably have a place to stay too.
Yeah.
Nobody has won yet.
Stay if you fish with Greg.
We've bounced around about 700 times, but nobody has won yet.
Gabe, what do you have coming up?
I have that tournament on Wapapello with Doug, which is not this weekend, but the following weekend. So I'm gonna try to get in the boat with him down there and do a little practicing. And then I've got the regionals on the BFL regional on Pickwick Lake, which is the first weekend in October. So it's a Thursday, Friday, and then the top 12 fish the Saturday, and then the top 6 get to fish the All-American, which we got a winner. Bill, congratulations, Bill. Awesome.
Thank you,
Bill.
Bill. I knew you were on the right track.
Stephanie must be on vacation.
She's hanging in there.
Yeah, so I got that coming up. A dream I've had forever, and is to actually, and it's a dream a lot of people have had, but to make All-American, man, I'm gonna keep trying as long as I can.
Yeah,
make that. That's
that right there is why Major League Fishing cannot get rid of co-anglers.
Exactly.
That is such a dream. Like, that is an awesome event. I can proudly say that I have been to the All-American 0 times as a participant, 3 times as a spectator or helper. But yeah, no, that is just that's an amazing event. And again, like if we could go back in time and have Major League Fishing do a poll of how many co-anglers, in their, polling them only, how many boaters became that way because of the fact that they started as co-anglers, it would be pretty resounding numbers, I would imagine.
I agree.
And that's only part of it, is that All-American dream. So yeah, man, where is your regional at, Gabe?
It's on Pickwick Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure which end of the lake it's on. I just actually paid my entry fee this afternoon. Got in, and you got to pay. It's a quick turnaround. I mean,
regionals is a paid.
It's paid. A week. You got to get a week to call customer service and get paid up.
Friday's the cutoff. So the tournament was over Sunday,
but you were one of the later.
Yeah,
super tournaments.
I guess so.
There's other super tournaments that were prior to.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how.
There's a couple other super tournaments coming up.
We talked about this today, Gabe. I think there's a regional on Bull Shoals. It must be the Archie division or something.
That's right.
I seen Wyatt Marler was looking for a guarantee for. Oh no, I think it was a super tournament on Bull Shoals.
Yeah, there's still the Ozark region super tournament is October 8th at Table Rock.
Yeah, but there's one.
Ozarks is at Table Rock.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock, and Truman. The Ozark division.
Typically, your regional is not.
No, the regionals at El Hollow.
No, the Ozark divisions is Pickwick.
Oh, okay.
Pickwick, is it?
Yeah, no, the super tournament for
the super tournament.
I got you.
Which is typically at Lake of the Ozarks in the fall, but this year it's at Table Rock.
Yeah, very disappointed because that's always a fun one to get into last minute.
Oh my God, the boat rides are so brutal in that one though. Good Lord.
Well, they replaced it with the Toyota series at the end of the week after that, so the last weekend in September. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I would have liked to fish that Table Rock Super Tournament, but when Doug, we got to talking about the Big O, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. It's a lot closer, and I always have fun in the boat with Doug. Doug has the best deer jerky.
He's got the best
meat
snacks.
sticks. Yeah,
that's a good lure.
I always see Mike Malone at Lake of the Ozarks and his wife. The sandwiches. I got to find a way to fish with Mike Malone because his wife makes about that big day. Is that fair? It's giant sandwiches for everyone that fishes with him. It's a whole club if you fish with Mike to appreciate those sandwiches. So you see where my fishing motivation is at. It's sandwich oriented, not necessarily catching.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep fuel in the motor to keep it going.
I mean, Gabe and I fished a lot of BFLs together, and our ritual was drive to Kentucky Lake, go to the meeting, go to Subway, same Subway, dang near every time, get 2 sandwiches, one for tonight, one for tomorrow. Priorities, like that was before we went to the tackle shop, before we went to anything.
And then
else.
on the way back, we always got Wendy's and tried to try to keep it between the lines.
Oh
On
God!
the way
So,
home.
so like the triple bacon deluxe
Dave's
burger
triple, large fries
on the way home after the
Chase it
tournament.
down with a Frosty.
That's a huge mistake, and we knew it every single time, but we still
But
did
so
it.
good. Best hamburger you will ever have is after you fished all day long. Guarantee it. Write it down.
Have you
Gabe's
guys ever
fished
ate
with
at
me
Fast
enough to know I don't eat.
No, you don't. You just keep going. Yeah.
Have you ever ate at that Fast Eddie's down there,
Yeah.
just north of Jonathan Creek?
It's good.
Man, it's good.
Yeah.
Fast Eddie's? What did you
Fast
call it?
Eddie's,
Fast Eddie's.
the tackle shop and a restaurant.
It's a pretty
Yeah,
dang good
you
tackle
don't-
shop too.
You don't
Yeah,
want to
really good tackle shop. It's
I don't know that. I'm kind of embarrassed to say I don't know that.
on Tuesday nights. They used to have a bucket of beer and pizza special. And when my in-laws had a camper down there, we used to always go up there and eat on Tuesdays if we were down there on a Tuesday. But they have some phenomenal.
It is the bourbon stream.
My life down there revolved around baits and bullets and balloons. I don't know if you know those.
Yep.
There's the drive-through baits and bullets, and then the kind of drive-in
Blues,
blues.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's called
blues.
Blues.
Sorry, my accent, Jay. My northern accent is messing it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we always hit that too. That was right down from the campsite where we were at.
Yeah, it was Draftonville area. That was pretty good.
I had a tournament in Kentucky like a couple. It's probably been like 7-8 years ago, and I had kind of spotty reception. I pulled over in the parking lot of Fast Eddie's, and I called my boater because you get text from Major League Fishing. It was FLW back then, but you get your text around 6:30ish or whatever. And I didn't make the meeting, but I ended up calling my boater, and he asked me where I was at, and I'm like, I'm in the parking lot at Fast Eddie's, and he's like, what the heck are you doing up like near Alton, Illinois? Are you driving down in the morning? Or I'm like, no, man, it's the wrong Fast Eddie's. Don't worry, I'll be fine in the morning. I'm not going to be up all night.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
That's
we've
funny how we advertise where Bluff City is. It's 1 mile east of Fast Eddie's on Broadway. Everybody knows where it's at.
So for JB and anyone else that happens to find relevance in this, the Michael Harlan co-angler bidding process for the Warrior William Project fishing tournament. He will announce the raffle closes, and he will announce the winner when, Jay, on Friday. What is that? September 28th?
Yeah, it's the Toyota Series.
Yep, on Friday night or Friday afternoon on the stage, the 27th.
27.
Friday the 27th, the bidding for that will end. So, JB, if you need help, I'll donate to the cause just to make sure you're there. We need you there, buddy.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Peer pressure, man. That 4 boxes trying to get you there.
You're right. You're right.
You guys are making me want to fish the BFLs again.
Me too. I swore it off, but now I'm going to go back.
I know. We had I tell you, that was some of the best times I've had fishing. We had such a great group of guys that I traveled with. And then I went on to fish. Back then it was called the American Fishing Series, which turned into the Strand, now Toyotas to Costas to whatever it is now. But man, that was some good times. We had such a great group of guys.
Yeah, that's one of the things I enjoy the most about it is just the more you fish the same division or just a couple different divisions, you meet people.
Yeah.
And it's a small fishing community. It's small, man. It is. I mean, you know how it is, guys. It's a lot smaller than what you realize. You start talking to people. This person knows this person. This person knows this person.
Yeah.
And
You get lifelong.
You get a lot of
friends out of it.
connections. It's pretty cool.
I was going to say that earlier about the Warrior William, just the circle of people that we have involved with it. There's guys from Mark Twain, there's guys from Table Rock, guys from everywhere. I mean, just phenomenal, the support that we get. I like to see, I was thinking about that earlier, you've had some Japanese anglers on your stream. Wonder what the, it'd be cool to see all the different listeners, where they come from on your channel.
Yeah, we've had Jun Shoji's from Japan, Dream Express Lures. He's actually did the stream a couple times. So we've had some people from Brazil, There's some Canadians that jump on here at times.
But Australia?
Yeah, we've got Australia. Yeah, not just people in the comments, not actual guests on the show. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How many years you been doing this now, Gabe?
Gosh, probably 6 or 7, somewhere around
Cool.
there. Yeah, the live stream itself, like just basically solo or with me and JB or JB and I, has been probably like 3 years. I'm thinking.
You and I've done it for. I think I've been part of it for 3 years.
Yeah,
because you were doing it with
Greg.
Greg.
I was doing it with Greg up there in Prairieville
for a
while. Yeah, backyard bassing, and then he decided to just kind of shut down his YouTube thing, and so I'm like, well, I'm gonna maybe take it over or start doing it and see what happens. So yeah, I've been doing it for quite a while. It goes by fast.
You know how many
Time goes by
episodes do you have?
Of the actual live stream? I don't know. I really don't know.
Probably a couple hundred at least.
Yeah, I would say so. It's cool though to look back at the archive and see all the different people that have been on here, and just I don't know. There's been a lot of good stuff talked about on these live
That's
streams.
for sure.
Yeah. At one time I was going to go back and kind of start repurposing a lot of the live streams, just pull out like the little nuggets from each live stream and just drop a little 5-minute clip. I did that on last time you were on, Jay. That's been a long time ago, but I pulled a couple little pieces out, and I need to start doing that. Just go back.
Sounds time consuming.
Yeah, it is. It's so time consuming.
Well, especially when they're only like 15 minutes long. Oh wait, we've never had a 15-minute long one. When they're 2 to 3 hours long, it's hard to digest it all.
I think I might have the record for the longest. I think
you do. Yeah.
Yeah, we went like Joe Rogan length like one time. It was like 3.5, 4 hours. Or something.
No way.
Yeah, I was pretty drunk by the time it was over. I think. Remember, a guy commented, "I'm waiting for him to spit in his bourbon and drink his spit."
We appreciate you letting us come on tonight and use this format.
Yeah, man.
I definitely appreciate it. I am not the best fisherman God ever made, but man, do I love it. And I, love being able to love talking to guys like you and hear about your experiences. That only makes mine better. So yeah, definitely appreciate you having me on. I know Jay's a legend. I'm just honored I am honored to be in his presence, and one day, hopefully, Jay can be as good as me at fishing. That's all I can hope.
I think that sounds like a side wager for this tournament coming up. Is that what that is?
That's
what I heard, man.
Like $100? I think we're looking at $100.
Every good tournament has a side wager.
I think it's 200 and winner donates at 5.
Yeah, $200, and the winner has to donate it back to Warrior William. Deal.
High five.
You got to get a hold of Spencer too.
You heard that? $200.
You guys did that like a couple of really white dudes.
Sorry. Look at it, Mike. You haven't noticed? I'm like the whitest you've ever seen.
I thought my name was White Boy till the 8th grade.
Yeah, you see me dance.
I golfed all day today in
the
the hottest day of the year, 11 a.m. tee time.
That's a horrible idea.
Hey, it was a gift certificate to like one of the most prestigious country clubs in St. Louis that expired at the end of this month, and today was the last day we had available.
Where did you play at?
Where'd you play? I got to know.
It was at Norwood Hills Country Club.
Norwood, nice. That is one of the prestigious.
Yeah. So, and they were setting up for the Ascension Charity Classic next week. So we were getting to play golf in the middle of grandstands that didn't have people in them, but still cool to see. It was set up for a PGA event, and a bunch of us hillbillies were just out there breaking up.
Well?
Yeah, not bad. Not as good as my wife. My wife is just an amazing golfer, unbelievable. So she kind of knocked me around a little bit, so I have to do laundry for the next 2 weeks. That's kind of the bet.
That's your bet?
Yeah, 2 weeks worth of laundry. Loser takes it on. So, and again, 3 girls under the age of 10. There's a lot of laundry.
Oh God!
Yeah.
I have to.
Hey, Sean, isn't it crazy when you play a real golf course? It kind of humbles you.
Oh yeah. You hit a beautiful shot, but the greens they just the ball rolls right off, and
I got to play one of the course pros at Boone Valley. I used to play hockey with, and he brought me over to play at Boone Valley one time. One of the holes, I don't even remember which one it was. I was on in 2 and got an 8. I tap a putt, and it rolls off, goes back down the hill. You chip on it, rolls back off. And I was like, dude, what is up with this guy that cuts the holes? Is he just angry? It's like Wednesday. Like, this isn't a change. And it's like, well, everybody that plays here is a professional athlete, or they want a challenge. They never cut the holes where it's easy.
No, that's about 18 months into my goal being invited to fish the Missouri Invitational on the pro side of fishing, because I'm well above average in golf. So if I could get my fishing game to match and maybe win a Toyota Series or put on a string of good tournaments, and then have Bass and Bob invite me to fish the Invitational on the pro side, because we always talk about it, and he's like, oh, there's plenty of room to sign up. I'm like, I'm not signing up. I want to be asked. So some people want to fish the Bassmasters Classic or
I'm with you.
Forestwood Cup. Like, my goal in life is to accelerate my fishing game at Lake of the Ozarks, to be invited to the Missouri Invitational on the pro side. That is 100% my goal, because then I can pair my already steady golf game with some fishing. So that's ultimately what I'm working towards.
It sounds like you can auction off your wife as the golf partner too.
There you go.
And she's much better. She's unbelievable. So that's not a comparison. But
Sean, it's funny you say that. That's been a goal of mine too. I would love to be invited to be on the pro side of that.
Yeah. So it's twofold. I'm taking a twofold approach. I'm staying close to Bass and Bob and Rob, talking to them every chance I get. And then I just need some fishing results to prove it out. So that quest starts here in a couple weeks, and hopefully we can start making some momentum in that direction, because all those pros in the Missouri Invitational, those are all first-class fishermen. So to me, in the Ozark region, to be ranked among those guys would be as good as it gets from my perspective, with the limited time I have these days to fish. So that's what I'm pushing towards. That's my goal.
That is a list of hammers that are there for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Send some of that rain this way.
I was up at Precision Sonar this morning, and I almost bought one of them shirts. I won practice, because that is my life story.
I love that shirt.
Every tournament I've ever won, Jay, I did shitty in practice.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those fish, they have fins and they always swim away, especially smallmouth. All right, let's wrap this up, man. We're coming up in 2 hours. It's been good. It's been great. There was a comment in here that I wanted to throw up.
Hold on, there was somebody that was going to get on the bet. Don said he was in on the bet.
Yeah, Don.
Oh, really?
So now you guys got a little more coin to.
Oh yeah. Here. Yeah. Well, we got it all. It's all captured here on video. And Sean, we got to.
So how do we do this? We bet who out of the group that throws the money in.
What I really wanted to do, we've been talking about this a little bit, and I really like to challenge all the bait sponsors, that are involved with this Warrior William. We kind of put a little competition together with them, and I'd love to present it to them, but I just didn't know how to do it yet. But, we have Bojangles, we have Bat Cave, we have our Bait Cave. I'm sorry. I always say Bat Cave. Bait Cave. We have Crock Gator.
Bat Cave.
Nate's Baits. We have all these bait manufacturers that participate in the tournament. This year, we're going to have Shane and Mike Russell from Strike King. So they're going to be at the tournament. But we have all these guys, and I'd love to put a side pot together and actually, give them some type of reward, whoever would win our tournament, our place highest out of the bait companies. I think that would be pretty cool to put together.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I didn't know Mike and Shane were going to be there.
Yep, they're supposed to.
Cool.
Hey, Gabe,
this week.
Let me throw this out there too, and I'll get you guys' input real quick. So Bluff City Tackle on the radio show, we've been kicking around this idea for a tournament that they're going to hold at Carlisle. It's a 5-fish, 5 species tournament. If you don't have all 5 species, you don't even get a weigh in. 1 catfish, 1 bass, 1 crappie, 1 bluegill, one white bass.
You forgot gar. Because
Yeah,
that
well,
place is a
that's
gar.
the five. Well, that's
a side product.
it's a work in progress. But we've had a lot of positive, like people chiming in saying they'd love to do this because the strategy would be crazy, right? Like, do me and Jay both fish for catfish at the same time, or is one fishing for bass while the other guy's fishing for catfish, or how does it work? So far, we've had a lot of response. So if people want to throw in the comments any ideas, we're a work in progress. But Mark McMurray from Bluff City is working on putting this together for next spring.
Cool.
I think that'd be fun, man.
I seen Jamie Bryant at Bryant Outdoors at Lake of the Ozarks. He's trying to do that this spring also. I think it's actually November, the first weekend of November, if he's going to do it, but same concept. And
I tried to preach to you. That's when I've caught more of the biggest fish at Carlisle's in November if we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's trying to do it. Dion's been doing that show with him on Tuesday nights, I think. The Real Tackle or something.
Right.
I think it's called.
I said mix in a squirrel tournament too. You got to shoot a squirrel on the way to the weigh-in too. Bring that in.
That's as redneck as they get there.
Hell yeah. Like a possum and a squirrel and 5 fish.
Yeah.
Species.
You got to sit it out on the deck of your boat and then clean it afterwards.
And biggest roadkill as your big bass.
Yeah.
Whatever roadkill was.
Armadillo.
All right. So I think that's so the Jay versus Sean challenge. We'll minimize it $100. Whoever loses has to give $100 back to Warrior William as the loser in that scenario. And I saw one comment that somebody's interested in that format. So maybe part of the email when we get our 100 entries, we'll send a nod out and say, if you want to donate at the event, you can put a $5 bet on Jay or Sean and pay out odds on one or the other. Just a little fundraising, a little extra, which I mean I think is hilarious because I can't imagine the last time I lost to Jay at anything. So that's just from my perspective.
Rubbing it in, man. Rubbing it in.
You got a hot iron over there.
I can actually pull the official weigh-in slip and we'll confirm that.
Yeah.
No, and again, I'll revert back.
Yeah, that's right. It was 4 years ago you beat me because I wasn't there.
Okay. No, I go back
It's reaching tire slashing in the parking lot
when
level.
Gabe caught Spencer Clark and I kind of shit talking back and forth on one of his lives that he posted. It's like the tournament inside of the tournament is one of my favorite parts of all of this. Like competing against friends, people people you're fishing in proximity to. Like that's just as much fun as the overall picture. You got to find some joy in all aspects of it. So
my suggestion to all of you guys is to keep your rods in the locker and it locked, or there's probably going to be some bad things that are going to happen.
Hey, I play dirty.
If you need ideas, just give me a call.
I play dirty. I have about 10 pull cords, kill switches. I have about 10 of them that I've stolen from competitors.
Well, hold on. Start loosening all the drags up.
I was going to say loosen up the spool tensions for sure. That first cast with that whopper plopper.
Very lighter around.
Better one than that. Spool out about 15 or 20 feet of line, snip it off, and then reel it back up.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a beautiful one. That's good thinking.
Whatever you just threw out there that morning is
You
gone.
watch that shad just slowly sink. Like,
Hey, that's
the old school Bill Dance and just put a duck in your live well.
If I want that to happen, I just take my son fishing with me or one of my grandkids because that's what happens every time. But JB, if you're serious about fishing it, I can probably really find you somebody. I got 2 guys I know that don't have partners right now. So if you're serious and you think you can on your schedule, just get my number from Gabe and shoot me a text or a call, and we can fix you up if you're interested.
Absolutely. I will. I'm kind of like your grandson.
it's fun, dude.
I have
It's fun.
travel ball schedule as well.
Yeah, I know.
I have to look at my travel ball schedule before. That's why, I mean, honestly, I haven't fished a tournament in 2 or 3 years. Like,
In a while.
Yeah,
so
that's a good time.
it's tough for me to get out.
All you need is a beetle spin.
Yep.
you're a good dad. Good job, JB.
2 pound sets.
Send those particulars to or get my email from Gabe, and we'll get this on the radio too next week.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Thanks,
All right, guys. We'll wrap it up. Appreciate you coming on here and talking about everything. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for hanging out with us. Check out that tournament. It's a good time. It's filling up fast. So that's all we got for you. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Hope to see you guys back here next week. Tight lines.